and welcome to my channel. My name is Kayomi JM and today we're going to be talking about the Caribbean books that I want to read in the next couple of months. I want to clarify what I mean by Caribbean reads. So for me, the book is either published by an author of Caribbean descent, meaning they were either born and raised or have Caribbean heritage. Number two, the story is largely set in the Caribbean or in a Caribbean community within the diaspora. I know it can be quite contentious when it comes to identity and what it means to be from somewhere and who gets to claim that place. But for the sake of this video, I am including authors who have Caribbean heritage through their parents or their grandparents. I don't want anybody in the comments being like, that person is not Caribbean because they were raised in the UK or they were raised in the US. I'm including those people in this work. Also, if the book is largely set in a Caribbean context, I have included that in this as well. But let's just get right into it. So the first book on my list is the book of The Little Axe by Lauren Frances Sharma, which is set in Trinidad, Spanish Trinidad specifically, at the turn of the 19th century. And it follows our main character, Rosa, who is not wanting to live the life that people are expecting her to lead. She rebels against the norm quietly. This book takes us from Trinidad to the southern United States, and it kind of has the feel, or it's supposed to have the feel of a Western novel. It's supposed to be a really interesting take on moving, migration, freedom, and what it takes to become the people that we want to become. It is set in Trinidad in Spanish colonial times. I don't think I've read much about that era, so I'm very excited for this book. The next book on my list is Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. This is a book by, I believe, an author of Jamaican heritage, or maybe she was living in Jamaica. It follows two siblings, Byron and Benny, whose mother left a very puzzling family inheritance for them, which is the traditional black cake recipe. It basically explores these siblings' reconnection and their relationship, which has been distant. The recipe is supposed to be a way of bringing them together. I was drawn to this book because it says black cake, and I love black cake, so that's why I'm excited to read this one. The next book I'm excited to read is These Ghosts Are Family by Maisie Card. This book is by an author of Jamaican descent. It is set between colonial Jamaica, spanning all the way to present-day Harlem in New York. I'm really excited for this one. Someone actually from Instagram saw me wanting this one. I entered a giveaway for this and I didn't win the giveaway, but a woman, I can't remember where she's from, but she gracefully sent this to me via the postal service. So I was very grateful for it. I have not read it yet. But basically it is a large family narrative starting with the patriarch of the family who has died and has had secrets, and these siblings are now all coming together because they previously did not know each other. They're half siblings in typical Caribbean fashion, and we are taking through the life of the father and seeing how one or couple mistakes from one person can affect the entire generation of the family. That is what I know about this book. So I'm excited to read this. I'm excited because I heard lots of people talking about how typically Caribbean this book was. The next book I'm excited to read is A House for Mr. Biswas by the infamous V.S. Naipaul. So I really want to read this one despite all the issues with V.S. Naipaul because I find that it is a classic piece of Trinidadian literature. A lot of people have read it for university or for school. My partner, who's not Trinidadian, has read it. So I want to read it because I feel like left out. I don't have the knowledge of what this classical piece of Trinidadian lit is about. We are basically taken throughout Mr. Biswas' life. He was born the wrong way in a poor family in Chagona, Trinidad, which is actually very close to where I'm originally from. And he spends 46 years of his life trying to build a house, and this house is a symbol for his independence. So I think we're taking through Mr. Biswas' struggle to gain his own personhood and his own independent self and to determine his life for himself. So I'm very excited to read this one just so I can be in the know. This next book I'm excited to read is The Star Side of Bird Hill by Naomi Jackson. This is a author of Barbadian or Bajan descent. I also lived in Barbados, so I'm excited to read this one. This one is set between Brooklyn and Barbados. It's about another family narrative, you guessed it. And these sisters are sent from Brooklyn to Bird Hill in Barbados by their family, and they spend a summer in search of various different things: love, happiness, joy, their heritage, and they have to make a decision if they are going to stay in Barbados or are they going to move back to Brooklyn. It sounds very heart-wrenching and gutting, and I'm excited to see. I've never even heard of Bird Hill, and I lived in Barbados for like 16 years of my life, so very excited about this one as well. I'm excited about all these books, as you can tell. Next book that I'm excited to read is Crick Crack by Edwidge Danticat. She is a Haitian author, and this is a collection of short stories all connected to Haiti and the diaspora. And that's as much as I can say about what this book is about. The description at the back of the book is not very illuminating. The collection has stories that foster a lot of outrage and sadness in its readers, according to the back of the book. It was a National Book Award finalist, so I feel like you don't need accolades to prove that you are a good book, but a lot of Caribbean books are not valued for what they are, and I just feel proud that this book was a National Book Award finalist, because we deserve our flowers. We do. And lastly, the book I'm going to read or want to read is Tentacle by Rita India. This is an indie published book. I literally found this because I was browsing the sci-fi section of McNally Jackson books in Seaport. I had a goal when I was there. I was like, you know what? I want to find a book I've never seen online. Most of the books that I buy in the last 5 years, books I see on TikTok, on Goodreads, or Instagram, and nothing that just like I'm transported to a bookstore and then I stumble upon a new book by a new author I've never heard about. So this book is a lot. I'm gonna just read the back of this one because it's really hard to explain what it's about without using the exact summary they have at the back. Plucked from her life on the streets of post-apocalyptic Santo Domingo, young maid Acile de Figueroa finds herself at the heart of a Santeria prophecy. Only she can travel back in time and save the ocean and humanity from disaster. But first, she must become the man she always was, with the help of a sacred anemone. Tentacle is an electric novel with a big appetite and a brave vision, plunging headfirst into questions of climate change, technology, Yoruba ritual, queer politics, poverty, sex, colonialism, and contemporary art. Bursting with punk energy and lyricism, it is a restless, addictive trip. The Tempest meets the telenovela. Isn't that a wild ride? I literally read that at the bookstore and I was like, okay, let's do it. Sci-fi, Caribbean, colonialism, sex, queerness, Yoruba rituals, technology. What's not to love? What is not to love? So those are all the Caribbean books that I am excited to read this year or in the upcoming months. I hope this was at least interesting to you, and I hope that you gained some knowledge of different books that you may not have heard of. Some of these are quite popular books and some of them are like a little less known. Thank you so much for watching my video. I will see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also friend me on Goodreads. Bye! Is either